and I know everything about you. It was just that statement. So I am not wrong to read this and call you for an interview because this is your brand. This is your brand because your experience, your objectives, your values, what you look out for is captured there. Anyone reading this, there's curiosity to call you. Mary, I really want to meet you for an interview because your branding statement fits exactly into what we are looking for. The next thing is your education and qualification. I have some few minutes. The next one is your education and qualification. List your educational background. That is the institution you have attended and the degree you attained and the year that you got that degree. So you can have a portion, the year, the degree, and the institution. Now, in wherever environment you find yourself, your degree, if the degree is the highest qualification you have, must be on top. The next one, if it is your senior high school or you did a diploma before your degree, should be next. If you have a certificate within the senior high school, please, you earn it there. Some go all the way to tell us the preschool they attended. Please, it's not relevant. Remember, it must be precise and concise. Don't jam and put so many things there. The recruiter is not interested in a preschool you attended. So your degree, if you have a diploma, or the next one is your senior high school certificate, you put it there. You are done. That does not mean you don't have them. You have them, but you are giving a taste or teasing the employer to ask for more. And the more will be when you get to the interview. The next one is your work experience. This section will talk about your work experience. What is your work experience? Sometimes I see CVs, when I look at CV, your work experience, they tell us the institution, they tell us the role, and tell us the dates. Then they are done with the work experience there. When I see this on your CV, there's no need for me to even call you because you are telling me you've been a financial consultant for this institution from this year to this year, and you're not telling me your role. You're not telling me the duties. You're not telling me your responsibilities. That means that you don't have enough experience to talk to me. I want to know the role. I am not asking you to list 20 roles because that is what you were doing. No, at most three. At most three vital roles that you were playing in the company. Three. That's all. Don't write out more than three. So target the best role that you were being engaged in. Remember, we don't want to keep the CV more worded with so many things. We want to keep it short, precise, bulleted, and getting the main ideas. The next one that I want to talk about is the third skill. The third skill, to me, is a skill you must put on your CV. And this skill, you must consider skill that is global visible. That is what I want to talk about. There are so many skills you can learn today that is free. Today, the society got into a point where there are so many skills you can achieve. What skills do you have? Is it communication skills? Is it teamwork? Is it all these things? Yes, I know. And when I take CVs, everyone is listing it. Yeah, team communication skills, teamwork. Oh, everyone is saying it. So the question is, what skill are you bringing on board? What technical skill do you have? Now, I am not saying putting communication skills, teamwork is, yes, it's good. But how do you distinguish yourself from A, B, and C? And that is based on your third skill. I call this third skill the technical skill. What extra skill do you have? Yes, you have skill in Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word. Excellent. That's a technical skill. And that is what I'm happy this foundation will talk about. Our next guest will definitely talk about. The next skill again, what do you have? I have data analysis skill, analytical skill. Wonderful. It's free. You don't need to pay anyone to get a degree or to get a certificate in data analysis. It's free. Google has it on the web online, and you can even have one for free. Allison is there. You can have one for free. Acquire all these basic skills. that are for free on your CV. Sometimes when I meet university graduates at conferences, I tell them, you have so much potential. The world is running at a fast rate. Gather all this experience and cash on them. There are a lot of AIs that you must master to meet your demands. The next thing that I want us to talk about is the certification and training. And this is where this bootcamp is catching up. What certificate or what training do you have? And I'm happy that you are here for this training. After this training, please get your certificate to support that you've had experience with negotiation skills, you have experience with CV or resume writing, you have Microsoft experience, you have LinkedIn optimization training. All these things are there. Companies just see you have this experience, LinkedIn optimization. They can just employ you and engage you to handle their LinkedIn account for them. Social media skills. It's a free skill that is online. Why haven't you taken it up and add it up to your CV? Every company requires a social media personality or someone to work on it. Every company has a social media account. Why don't you take these free trainings online, add that certificate on your CV, and even if the job don't even look for you or not called, at least they may consider you for that role. Give it a thought. The next one is your references. The next one is your references. What are your references? After running a background check on a company and you realize that, oh, this is a company I'm submitting my CV to, please put your references there, maximum 3 or 4. Maybe you can say available upon request. Well, if you have a lot of things to protect, you can say available upon request. But if you really want the job and you don't want them to, to make a decision about you before calling you, then please make your reference available. Maximum 3. And those references are people that you know them. I saw a post on Twitter and someone said, the reason why you are unemployed is because of your references. And I asked myself, why is a person saying that? And the person said something that there are some references that when you put on your CV, they know you, but when the company calls them, they don't give good information about you. We have situations we've called references and they played no knowledge that we don't know. Oh, I don't know him. Yet the person was sitting at the interview. Oh, do you know Michael? Oh, I don't know. I've not worked with anyone called Michael. Oh, the person said he worked with you from this year to this year. You were his direct supervisor, and these are some of the things that you did together. You were. Person said, I don't know anyone like that. Then we gave the phone to the person. The person mentioned, he said, oh, Frank, so today you don't know me? And the person was quiet. So ask yourself, all these years, the jobs that the person has been rejected or probably never got a feedback for an interview, what has been the factor? Someone said sometimes call your references and pretend that you want to know more about you because we're a company. Find out, what do they know about you? What information can they say about you? These things you must know. Definitely you must know. The next one is some of the things you must do on your CV and the things you must not do. The first thing I say is that we are in a global community, so your LinkedIn profile must be at the top. So when you look at this template on your screen, this is a resume. So your template must be there. You put your LinkedIn profile, definitely must be there. Please again, check your grammar and your spelling. I interviewed a person who was looking for a teaching role. So much grammar, so much errors, so much spellings, and like, you want to be a teacher, but your CV, you have so many things that you spelled wrong. So that probably has disqualified the person. So please watch out. Watch out with your spelling. After typing, please let your friends read through for you. Let someone go through for you. Let someone look at someone, because there are a lot of things that you may overlook. But a third eye would definitely, or a second eye would definitely point out certain things you must know. The next one is your font size. Standardized one can be 12. Then you can have your New Times Roman, that is quite accepted. Don't use so many font size. You have some to be 15, 30, please. Watch out. Some of the things you shouldn't do is having unprofessional email. Having unprofessional email, because creating an email, or maybe you were young and you were creating your email, you created with your nickname or you created with a jargon, and today probably is the old one that you want to use. Please be very careful. Have a professional email, and that email must have traces to your name. So if I'm Michael, that Michael or a component of Michael, or if I'm Techi Michael, the Techi Michael must have a component in the mail, so that the employer will know, yes, this is definitely coming from you. We have so many recruiting agencies that will forward your mail to the employer on your behalf. The employer will definitely know that you are not a person. This is coming from somewhere. Please be mindful or careful of your mail. Don't have, unprofessional email. Some will have, let's say, Michael hot at gmail.com, or sweetgirl@gmail.com, or no, be very mindful. Have a professional, comprehensive mail. The next one is your skill must be there. Have that relevant skills I talked about. Today's society, data analysis, teamwork, communication skills. Take all these programs online. Have these certificates and put them on your CV. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I want to say that you should be very mindful. Don't have one CV and say, oh, I have CV. Yes, I have CV. Yeah, we know you have CV. And that CV goes to over 20 companies. Every company asking for your CV. Every occupation asking for your CV. Is that CV that you submit. For the past 5 years now, for the past 10 years now, for the past 2 years now, it's the same CV you submit. Let me say this today. If you have 5 companies asking you to submit your CV in a day, the CV to them must be different. Every company CV must be different. I'm not saying change your name. I'm not saying change that. But the professional summary must meet the vision and the goals of the company. So be very careful there. So look at the company, look at what they stand out for, and tailor the CV to meet them. Look at their vision. Look at what they do. Are they interested? Are they more into technology oriented? Tailor that CV to meet them. But what we see, common CV, one generic CV for the past 5 years, you just keep duplicating, printing and photocopying and giving them out. Please be very mindful. And we have this I want to say to you. In 6 to 7 seconds, a hiring manager have to make a decision as to yes or no. In 6 to 7 seconds. So my question to you is that, can your CV meet this standard? After this event today, take a look at your CV and take yourself as a hiring manager. In 6 to 7 seconds, are you going to employ that person? What are you seeing on the CV that is worth calling the person for an interview? Because you are not the only one the hiring manager is looking for. You are not the only one. I quite remember I met a director of a company. In a conversation, he told me that, Michael, my employers are really giving me headache, but they have forgotten that when I place job advert on a Jobberman, which is quite common in Ghana, or on Ghana Job Web, I receive over 600 applicants. Over 600. So that means that 600 people are standing to take your job. And who knows, you are part of that 600 applying for that job role. So the question is, do you think the hiring manager will have time to read from page 1 to page 5 of everyone's CV? No, I will definitely not have that time. So your branding statement and how comprehensive. Hiring managers don't read CVs. Let me say, I don't read CV. I scan. I just look through. I flip. I decide on you. So I'm looking for the skills you have captured. I'm looking for your branding statement you captured. I'm just looking for the job experience and the role you played Is it matching with the latest job or the latest role I'm looking for? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the technology integration. This is the last thing I talk about in 2 minutes, then my session is over. The next one I want to talk about is the technology integration. Today, online, there are so many templates, there are so many websites that you only go in there, queue your experiences, then it will generate CV for you. Yes, take advantage of that. I would say, yes, take advantage of that. The world is getting to a point. Don't sit down and somebody will integrate these standardized things into their CV and you say, oh, sometimes when I talk about this, people say, but you see, it will give you things that you are, yes, it will give you things that is not within your job scope. What do? You tailor those ideas into your job scope. That is what I'm telling you. I'm not saying don't generate. I'm not saying go online and generate CV and just come and give it to the employer. No, go online, have samples and work with. Now, one common thing that can generate a comprehensive CV for you after queuing in your command is the chat GPT. I know you have heard of this, and if you have not heard about it, just go and explore it. It can answer so many questions. It's an AI. So who am I? Let's say I'm a financial consultant. So I go into ChatGPT, and if only I'm permitted, we'll do demonstration. But if I'm not permitted, at your right time, you do. I go to ChatGPT, I key in, I'm a financial consultant, or I copy my existing CV. I just open the document, I copy the existing CV, and I place it into the ChatGPT. And I ask the ChatGPT to check for grammar and make it comprehensive, or make the CV comprehensive and inspiring for the role of financial consultant. So it will review your CV, tailor it to meet what you're looking for. Why is this relevant? You may not do this. Somebody will do this, and the CV will get my attention, and I'll call that person. Copy the CV, place it into the AI. The AI will automatically generate it for you. This is free. It's not AI that you have to pay for anything. ChatGPT, the free version, is accessible to you. Copy your CV into it, and it will tell for you. Or I want a CV to meet this job demand. It will generate the CV for you, and you edit it to meet your demand. Or you ask yourself, I'm a financial consultant. How do I write a professional summary for a financial consultant? To write it nicely for you. You edit it to suit who you are. Now I am ending this with a quote for the day. And this quote is coming from Abraham Lincoln, former US president. And he said this, that give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening that axe. So my question to you is that, how are you sharpening yourself for the job market? And on that note, I bring my presentation to an end. Thank you so much for your time.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Michael. Michael, you still need to be on there. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
I
you
can
so
hear
much.
you.
Thank you so much for that. We've actually learned a lot. One thing you've actually discussed is the email handles and how it should be professional. Also, how people should actually make sure that they investigate before sharing their details. Lately, we have a lot of people using people's personal details that they have on their CV. So investigating, some people don't apply for jobs and they get an SMS saying you are called to an interview. You didn't apply for it. And a lot of Africans will say, God have done it. God did not do it. The scammers are coming for you. So that is there. So we've listened to certain things you've said, and I think some people do have questions. And
Great.
yeah, so some people do have questions. One thing I would like to share that I think I learned, I want to know what's your take on this. People say if you are doing digital marketing, let's say that's your job role, that what you should have is just digital marketing on each of the roles. I've noticed that, especially global companies, if you do digital marketing on your first role, the second role is now web design. They would not take you. So is it true that you have to have the same job position for each roles in order to apply for that job?
No, I wouldn't say yes to that because sometimes there are a lot of roles that we take them up and that role will definitely pay off. So if today I'm digital marketing, then the next role probably doesn't match and I'm looking for a job in digital marketing, but my previous role doesn't match the job I'm looking for. The company must definitely have, create room for exempts and hear what you have to offer. Sometimes I say that, look, you may not meet the category or the requirements of the job, but the question is, if you get opportunity for the interview, what do you have to offer? So don't limit yourself. Yes, maybe so many job recruiters will come out and give us all these just, but when your guts or when your instinct is telling you to take to take up that role, please do, because there are people we have interviewed with no job experience on what the things that the people we are looking for. You can see that the previous experience doesn't match what we are looking for. But when we engage them at the interview, some companies will take the risk to engage you. You realize that they are more advanced or more oriented or more knowledgeable than even people that will come with 10 years experience with the job area we are looking for. So don't let it go. Digital marketing, web design, the opportunity has come. Don't merge these two. Take your shot. I say this, shoot your shot. You go in there, you impress them, there you have the job. That's what I would say.
All right, thank you, Michael. Please, if you have any questions for Michael, I can see that people are raising up their hands. But because of people noise background, we would not be turning on
Exactly.
people's mic. So you could go as just type in the questions that you have, and Michael will read it to Michael, and he will definitely answer the questions. Yes, we do have times that we have interns that will want to move to our partners, but we've seen several things about them. One of the things also I've noticed is that if you actually have worked for a church or a mosque or volunteer your time for a church or a mosque, you could add that as an experience. So what is your take on what a student could add? Michael, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
still here.
What's your take on what students could add to actually have experience, but have some form of experience when they are looking for a job? Would you say whatever you've done for your mom and dad that you were not paid for, can you add that as a job experience? What would you say to make a student's CV look great or better?
Okay, that's a wonderful question. And sometimes I say this to university graduates when I engage them. It's great that you are a student and most job recruiters and you see the common statement they say every day is that, "Ah, I'm a graduate, I just completed. Why are you asking for 4 years experience?" When you go to social media and people put in these things, you see the comments. The question is not serious. What do they mean? I'm a graduate. Where are they expecting me to gather that 5 years experience from? Now, gathering experience is quite complicated and you should be mindful what you consider as an experience. Why do I say this? Sometimes we look at ourselves, but we don't look at the company. We don't look at where you are taking the CV to. There are some startups, organizations or foundations or NGOs that some experience is relevant to them. And there are some corporate firms that experience that you put there is not relevant to them. They don't care about that experience. So as a student, during your stay or during your 4-year education, you were a course rep at the university. Wonderful experience, great experience. And even if you're not a course rep, you were a student leader, maybe organizational leader or coordinating team, or even if in your small circle where you were meeting us for group studies and you were the team leader or you were the secretary to that team, please put it there. Yes, someone will ask, but what if they want to find out? They will not call whether to find out whether you have the experience or not, but gather these things as experience as a student so that interviews You give relevant experiences or relevant times where you were able to put some skills together. So you were rep, you put it there. You handle organization, you put it there. Maybe you were a PRO for organization, you put it there. On vacation, who knows? Your dad has an organization, and I say this every day. It's not only registered firms or registered, companies that your experience is relevant. No, you may have it fine. Let's say my son, I have a company. It's not a registered company, or I have a shop. I have a big shop. We sell, that is human skills, communication skills. That experience will support your communication skills. So if on holidays I engage you at the shop where you are there handling people, answering questions, answering calls, inputting data on the computer, it's a relevant experience. You only need to put the name of the shop there and list the duties and the thing did. That is something you back on. I hope you get the point.
Yes, yeah.
Excellent. Your microphone, I think I can't hear you. Your microphone, or it's from my end.
No. I think you're right. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
We do have some questions coming from some people. We have Faith NAB asking, please. I have just conducted a 1-month customer support skills. I'm trying to apply for jobs with that experience on Upwork. My question is, how do I create a portfolio and a resume with no previous experience? Yes, I think you just spoke about it, but just shed the light for her. As she said, she just concluded a 1-month customer support skill. I'm sure it's also from bootcamp. They are the ones that usually train within 1 month for that. So how does she have a portfolio or resume? Meanwhile, she's just trying to enter into customer support.
Okay. Now, I agree with her. That is common, where the previous experience doesn't match with what you are looking for. Now, I will say this. It's not a reason not to apply. Most people lose out on big opportunities because my CV or my doesn't match the current thing they are looking for. Having that 2 minutes opportunity to send your CV to a recruiter will not take anything from you. So what do? That is the way you want to meet it up. And I will go with the technology integration. Just use ChatGPT. Queue in with your CV and let it review it for you. It will review it and input the skills. It will even select the skills that is even relevant for the next job. So though you may not meet up, but give it your shot, give it up to your best shot. You have only 1 month experience. Give it up. Put in there. Definitely something at the interview. Remember, the CV is not the job. The CV is not the one guaranteeing the job. I say this every day. CV will not guarantee you the job. It's the interview that will guarantee you the job. And most people get employed because during the interview, they were knowledgeable. Employers or managers fall in love with even your command of the English language, your expressions, your composure, your maturity, how you express yourself. We fall in love with those things at interviews and we end up taking people and they will call us and say, oh, and I tell them, this is someone who is ready to learn. The mere fact that you are exhibiting the view that you are ready to learn on the job, I will pick you up than someone who is full of himself thinking that he has 10 years experience. So you can optimize it to meet it one way or the other, and just pray that at the interview, your previous relevant experience that probably may not meet the job will guarantee you the job. That is it. So don't let the CV stop you.
Yes, that's a good motivation. Don't let the CV stop you. Apply. The interview guarantees you the job and not your CV. I think your CV is just a door knock.
Exactly. I think I'll write it down. Next presentation, I'll say it somewhere. Just a door knock.
All right, we have Sharon, and Sharon said, is it okay to mention in your professional summary that you are seeking to transfer skills to a new role? For example, a creative and experienced writer and editor seeking the opportunity to transfer excellent communication and brand organization skill to a copywriting role. That's a nice one, Sharon.
Excellent. Excellent. And you see, with that, it's enough for me to call Sharon for an interview. I don't need to go. And why is it enough for me? It's just telling me that Sharon is someone who can transfer knowledge. And every occupation, we are looking for people who can transfer knowledge to meet the skill we are looking for. This is the door. This is enough for me, Sharon. So be very mindful in your professional summary. That is your branding point.
Thank you, Michael. For those out there, we're actually looking for interns. Sharon, I love what you wrote. You can apply to join our internship program if you're looking for a job. If you're a graduate here looking to work for anyone, I think we would one of our marketing team members, that's Belumi, who is on ground, will actually share those things for you. Don't worry, we'll soon share the link for where you can apply for scholarship. We'll share the link where you can apply for internship. We'll share the link where you can volunteer and be part of what we are doing. Michael, we're so grateful. Thank you so much for volunteering your time. Thank you for giving it to the Michael. We appreciate you. Michael would actually also, we shared Michael's details on our social media. We'll also be sharing it here if you want to reach out to Michael to ask him certain questions. And I'm sure Michael will also be back here in our next 3.0 bootcamp. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Thank you. Is it Aquaba? What's the
Yes, thank you. Yes,
Thank
I
you
have
so
one last thing. I have some few last words to add up.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes, I think beginning of my presentation, I promised to review my CV, to review CV for 5 people here who will stay out throughout the presentation. So I'll leave it to the foundation to decide 5 people for me. I'll review your CV for you for free. And it's based on how you interact during these events. How interactive you are, how committed you are, and how you stayed out throughout the session. And probably I'm sure there'll be a survey after that and your response on that. And if you are selected, remember 5, so the number is big. So I'm sure definitely you can be selected. I'll review your CV for you for free, help you in optimizing your LinkedIn, and any professional advice for 5 people for free. So please stay with us through the session in the bootcamp.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michael. You can see that there is more to this bootcamp. Like we said, it's all on hand. It has nothing to do, not theoretical. So you're learning straight from it. So 5 lucky people, and we're going to see if we are interacting, those that are asking questions, those that are present. I think I already have one in mind. I don't need to mention the name. So we would actually be listening now to those that are actually being part of it. And then we would move that. Those 5 people can also have the opportunity to be part of our internship. Thank you so much, Michael.
Great.
Okay.
Great.